welcome along to another video. Today is Monday the 13th of July 2020, and in today's video I'm going to do a new series. The new series is me simulating through the PDC World Matchplay that's going to take place starting next week. So this will be a three-part episode. In part number 1 I'm going to go through the last 32, and part number 2 I'm going to go through the last 16. And in part number 3, I'm going to go through the quarterfinals, semi-finals and final. I'm quite known to be a jinx in these, so hopefully I don't jinx your favourite player. So I'm just going to give my predictions and a small description of what I think is going to happen, because I don't want to go into too much detail, because I don't want to give it away for my actual preview videos, when each day I'm going to go through in more detail. And if I did that, especially in this video, it'd probably last about 30 minutes. So I'm going to go through the 16 first round games in draw order. So the first game I'm going to talk about is Michael Van Gerwen versus Brendan Dolan. I think Michael Van Gerwen will be too strong for Brendan Dolan in this game, and I think Michael Van Gerwen will win this game by 10 legs to 4. So the second game we're going to talk about is Simon Whitlock versus Ryan Joyce. I think it's a very, very competitive game between these two, but I think Simon's experience will be too much. I think he'll want revenge for a loss in previous times against Ryan Joyce, and I think Simon Whitlock will win this game by 10 legs to 7. The next game we're talking about is Gary Anderson versus Justin Pipe. Now Justin Pipe had to pull out the last 2 Players Championship events with tendinitis, and that's a really, really hard thing to get over. He should get a cortisone injection. I think he might be okay to play, so I'm going to keep him in my simulation. And I think that Gary Anderson will take advantage of Justin Pipe's injury, and I think Gary Anderson will win this game by 10 legs to 2. So the fourth game we're going to discuss is James Wade versus Keegan Brown, and I think it's going to be very, very tight. I think we'll see a classic James Wade performance. I think he'll average one more than Keegan Brown, and he'll get a 10-8 victory in this game. So that's the first quarter of the draw of the first round games we're going to talk about. So let's move on to the fifth game, and we're going to talk about Michael Smith versus Johnny Clayton. Now Johnny Clayton's been very, very good in the summer series, and he takes on Michael Smith. I think Michael Smith will be too strong for him in this game, but I think this game will go to extra time, and I think Michael Smith will win this game by 11 legs to 9. The next game we'll discuss is Mensur Suljovic versus Jamie Hughes. I think it's a very, very tight game. You know, both players can average 110 one day and 90 the next day. You just don't have that consistency with the two players. But I think that Jamie Hughes will win this game by 10 legs to 8. The next game we're going to talk about is Rob Cross versus Gabriel Clemens. I think that's a real classic game, and potentially the match of the first round it could be. I think this will go all 25 legs that it's possible to do so, and I think that Rob Cross will edge it by 13 legs to 12 in a sudden death leg. I'm a massive fan of Gabriel Clemens, especially on the floor, and with no fans being allowed in the Marshall Arena in Milton Keynes, I'm going to go for him to push Rob Cross all the way. But Rob Cross has been very, very good form, and I think that Rob Cross will win this game by 13 legs to 12. The next game we're going to talk about is Krzysztof Ratajski versus Jermaine Watamina. Now Jermaine Watamina will want to get fast out the traps because he's a rhythm player, but I think Krzysztof Ratajski's consistency will be too much for Jermaine Watamina in this game, and I think Krzysztof Ratajski will win this game by 10 legs to 7. So let's look at the bottom half of the draw, starting with Peter Wright versus Jose de Souza. Now, just like the Cross Clemens game, I think this will be an absolute classic of a match, and I think that Peter Wright will edge out Jose de Souza by 12 legs to 10. Jose de Souza was one of the 2 players who averaged over 100 consistently in the summer series, and his average was over 100. Peter Wright won the last summer series, and he'll go into this with good form, and I think he'll nick this by 12 legs to 10. It'll go to overtime as well. I think that's how close the match will be. The next game sees Glenn Dunn versus Jeffrey Deswan. Now Jeffrey Deswan's had an operation on his shoulder, and he won't be 100% I think in this game, and I think that Glenn Dunn will take advantage of this like Gary Anderson, and I think that Glenn Dunn will win this game by 10 legs to 6. The next game we're going to talk about is Daryl Gurney versus Ricky Evans. Now Ricky Evans is a rapid player. We know what we're going to get from him. that 95 average. I think he's now consistently in that ballpark. I think Daryl Gurney was too good for him near the end of the match, and I think Daryl Gurney will win this game by 10 legs to 8. The next match we're going to talk about is Dave Chisnell versus Vincent van der Voort. This will be a very, very fast match. Both are fast players and both suit each other's styles. And I think that Dave Chisnell will edge this game by 10 legs to 7 against Vincent van der Voort. So let's talk about the bottom quarter of the draw now. And Nathan Aspinall takes on Dimitri van den Berg. Now, Dimitri van den Berg plays very, very well in front of fans, but I think that Nathan Aspinall will edge this game because behind closed doors, and I think Nathan Aspinall will win this game by 10 legs to 7. The next game we're going to talk about is Ian White versus Joe Cullen. Now, these two played last year, and I think we'll see Ian White get another win. Joe Cullen did mention that he was struggling with his throw, and I think that'll be a downfall in this game for Joe Cullen, and I think Ian White won this game by 10 legs to 6. The penultimate game we're going to talk about in the first round is Gerwyn Price versus Danny Noppert. Now, Danny Noppert was very, very good on the floor, but I think in front of the TV screens, he's just not as good as he is on the floor. And I think Gerwyn Price will take advantage of this, and I think Gerwyn Price will win this game by 10 legs to 4. If this was on the floor, I would say this would go 18 legs. I would say 10-8 to Gerwyn Price, but I think with the TV cameras being on, I'm going for 10-4 to Gerwyn Price. So Adrian Lewis versus Steve Beaton. Now, Steve Beaton's an ever-present at the World Matchplay, and he sealed his place in the last day of the summer series. But I think that Adrian Lewis, with the new look and the weight loss, will be too much for Steve Beaton. I think Adrian Lewis will win this game by 10 legs to 7. So that's my predictions for the first round. I hope I've not jinxed your player. And I say it's the best of 19 legs, but you need to win by 2 clear legs. And if it goes 12 all, it's a sudden death leg. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. And until tomorrow when I upload my second part of my simulated PDC World Matchplay, I will see you then. Goodbye.